Hello everybody and welcome back to X-Plane 11. Today I'm going to fly the CRJ200 from Jrollon. And this is a very old plane. I think it was originally released for X-Plane 9 and 10 and it has been updated for X-Plane 11. There are still some issues, some of the systems are not working correctly. But it's still a really good plane, especially with the Soundpack, which I'm going to use for this flight today. But I don't think at this point it will receive any more updates. But it's still fun to fly. We are currently here in New Mexico, in Albaquerque, at the International Sunport, in the early morning hours. And we have this beautiful airport scenery from Short Final. Looks great. And we have a Sheraton hotel. And we are going to fly today to Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be a short hop. Short city pairing. I already did a flight to Phoenix Airport using the MD-80 and it was great. So let's do that, but this time with the CRJ and from Albuquerque. Alright, let's get ready for departure. I'm also using a Cocpit retexture. The original Cocpit textures were not looking too great. And we have also passenger cabin. It's really low res, but we can chalk it up to old age. So we need the battery, master caution and warning, and now we can go down here to the FMC and MCDU menu, or MCDU, yeah. And plane menu, and connect GPU card and display performance. I'm going to set it to high, although I don't think it does anything to the looks. Does not make it better or worse for that matter. And JetBlue Airbus pushing back. World Traffic 3 is doing its thing. Still not hearing the engines. Oh, there they are. Alright, now we have this beautiful little GPU card. And we can connect AC power up here. And nav lights. Going to set hydraulic system B or 3B to auto. Emergency lights and passenger signs. And now we can go here, flight plan, or actually here FMS1, check out the status. I already updated the database, should be the actual 2003 AREX cycle. Unfortunately there are a couple of issues sometimes with the nav data. We will see how that manifests soon. So, initialize position, and first we have to go here and set iris to nav, and now we can set the position Albuquerque and get the coordinates. Going to fly to Phoenix, KPHX, and it's a city pairing, so we're going to depart runway 08. Well, actually first we can also listen to the 80s. We're gonna also set here the radio frequencies. It's a little bit easier than to set down there. And 118.000, com 1.
Temperature 4, dew point -21, altimeter 2992, arriving runways 03, 08, departing runway 08, advise on initial contact, you have Bravo.
Alright, we got all the necessary data, 2992, standard, that's great, and departing runway 08, JetBlue is taxiing there right now. So departure arrival 08, red north 3, standard instrument departure is going to be, or what we are going to use today, and zoom transition, execute it. I think after each step we have to execute it, otherwise the plan will disappear. And departure arrival, it's going to be ILS 08. I'll select start first, alright. So it should be Eagle 6, yep. And zoom transition ILS 08. Now we can select it and execute it. Lex page, clear up the discontinuity. And that is the problem that I mentioned. We don't have any waypoints for the approach and arrival. So let's pull up the AVI tab. And check out the arrival, Eagle 6. And the last waypoint that we got is this one, Homer, so according to SimBrief we need these waypoints. So I'm going to have to put them in manually. BOHTX or Botox, I don't know how it got that name. And Gino. Then Queenie. And obeys. And now we can pull up the approach to ILS 08. And here we have a couple of more waypoints. Alice. Then Sart. It's going to get it done quickly and then we can go flying. Yeah, a little bit of manual adjustment is needed with that plane. We can chalk it up to old age. There are also a couple of issues. For example, when we load this plane, sometimes there is a message waiting for connection. And sometimes that message won't disappear and we cannot fly this plane. A solution for that is we have to update the Microsoft Net Framework program and then it should work correctly. And what's up? We have to be at 3000 for the glide slope. Alright. Now the flight plan should be correct. And we have iris alignment, so we can test the flight plan. Put it to plan mode here, format. And increase range slightly. Or, yeah, let's keep it like that. Oh, we need to execute it first. And here we go. Alright, that looks much better. So, next thing here in the MCDU, go to the performance page and set thrust limit. Temperature is 4. So 90.8 and I'm just going to put 90.8 here as well. So that should do the trick. And yeah, I think that was it with the MCDU for now. And it's going to put nav source to FMS. There we go. And flight directors heading. Oh, let's put initial runway heading 80. And the cruising altitude is already set. It's going to be 29,000 feet. I think it was from the previous flight that I did. So nav, and I'm going to put V speed for climb 1.5. There we go. And in the meantime we can go ahead and start the APU. Here it indicates APU door is closed, soon be opened. There we go. And start. Alright, that was quick. And switch it over. Get rid of the ground power unit. Actually, it's a quite important step to disconnect it and get rid of it. Otherwise it will stay right where it is, and if we forget it, then we can take off with the ground power unit still connected. So that's quite funny, but not that great for our flight. And all we have to do is just put in the V-speeds. Well, actually, let's check out if the airplane is loaded correctly with the old school weight and balance and fuel page. So, flight plan. Yep, payload correct, and fuel 2566. Yep, it's correct as well. So we have a total weight of 21,541 kilograms. And plane is only indicating the fuel quantity in pounds, but it's the same in kilograms. Total fuel 5,650 pounds, which is 2,566 kilograms. And we have to go to the PDF pilot handbook for this plane and set the V-speeds. V-speed and V1, we have to look up 21,500 kilograms, and it's going to be a flap 8 takeoff. So V1 is going to be 139. There we go. Select. VR is 141. And V2 is 150. That's pretty fast, pretty big V-speeds compared to an Airbus, for example. And target VFTO is 178. And this airplane does not have an auto throttle, and these are just for reference. It's going to have to constantly monitor the airspeed and adjust it correctly, or the thrust. And I think we are good to taxi.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
And we got a really nice red truck. I'm just going to put all systems to auto. And APU bleed. And we have a co-pilot as well. Looks like a Colombian drug cartel boss. Hey man, how are we doing? Ready to go flying? We are not going to smuggle cocaine today, like Tom Cruise in that movie. So, put this back to nav mode. And nav source is already on FMS. We don't need to change
the... All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
We don't need to change the barometric pressure setting.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Oh, Southwest is coming in. Not quite ready for pushbacks. Let's wait for this plane. And now we can go. Parking brake is down here. And parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright, soon we can go and start the engines. I'm also going to set the trim 7.9, and there is a whole page in the pilot handbook how exactly we can calculate the CG and also the trim setting for takeoff, but the table is, I think, incorrect. I tried to calculate it a couple of times and it always gave me incorrect data. So I'm going to guesstimate 7.9 should do the trick for takeoff. And engine start, ignition, EA, and start number 2. There goes M2. And number 2 is starting. So we have a good engine start in 2 on number 2, and number 1 can start as well.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
So let's put strobe lights. Good engine start. And now we can get rid of the APU.
Tow is disconnected and bypassed and has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Alright, hand signal on the right. Oh, before we get rid of the APU, it would be useful to switch gens. If you don't want to get rid of the power as well. So there goes the APU and hand signal. Nice. You can also set flaps 8, just 1 notch. And we are ready to taxi. We won't have to go far. Just right there, taxiway A2. And parking brake released. Get the PFD display for takeoff. And add a little bit of power to get us moving. And here we go. Check out the traffic. And not much is going on. And actually somebody's coming in from landing. And there it is. There he is. Southwest 737. Just landed. So let's go straight for the runway. Nobody's taxiing, so flaps at 8. Trim is set. APU off. And here we have to take off, make a turn, and when we made that turn I'm just going to let autopilot take over. We are at 5,300 feet, at 10,000 landing lights off, 18,000 trench altitude, but don't have to change the barrow settings, so that's great. We are not going to spend too much time at 29,000 feet, but I will have to manage thrust and keep an eye on the speed. Cruise profile is M.74, which is going to be around 280 knots at 29,000 feet. So we are ready to go flying. I don't think there is a setting for the auto brakes. There is no RTO setting here. Spoilers and thrust reversers. We are going to set them to armed for landing. So they're going to deploy automatically. And let everybody know that we are departing. Actually, it's quite a nice touch that we can switch off and switch on the passenger signs, and we can see that as well in the passenger cabin. And there goes southwest. I haven't flown the CRJ a lot, so could be that I'm forgetting a couple of things, but I think we are good to go right now. Runway should be long enough for takeoff, even with decreased thrust or derated takeoff. And let's see. Beautiful morning. And we have to wait for southwest. Alright, runway is clear. Chronometer, and here we go. And 80 knots. You can already see the end of the runway, but we are soon at V1, and we can rotate. And here we go. Gently pull up. And gear up. Also flaps up. Trim it a little bit. And here we go, turning. And decrease thrust a little bit. Have to maintain 250. And looks like we are turning, and next waypoint, let's increase the range a little bit. And maintain speed. And I'm just going to go with the direct intercept to steady, execute it. And let the autopilot take over. And still monitor airspeed. Now we are actually at almost 10,000 feet. Landing lights off. And I can go to 280. So gear up, flaps up, landing lights off. Everybody's happy. Especially me. How are we doing there, buddy? Pablo Escobar, co-pilot. So, increasing speed a little bit, climbing it with 1.6 right now, should do 1.5. Not too bad. 354 nautical miles to go. Check out the scenery. Decrease a little bit of thrust. At 29,000 feet it's going to be M.74 at this speed approximately, and when we reach 29 it's going to be in altitude mode, switched over into that mode automatically, and also going to have to adjust throttle, but not going to spend much time. Top of climb is here. Top of descent is, according to SimBrief, between waypoint Eagle and Homer. But we can also use the 3-to-1 rule. Basically, principle is for every 1,000 feet altitude lost, we go 3 nautical miles. It's a rough calculation, so you have to be down at 3,000 feet. 29 minus 3 is 26. You have to take that in 1,000 feet increments, so 26 is correct. Multiply it with 3, it's going to give us 78. And that waypoint is not that far from the airport, so it's approximately 82 nautical miles. That's where we should begin our descent, but I can also look at the approach charts. There are also altitudes listed, or the SimBrief flight plan, so it's not that difficult. Going to have to guide this plane down. So we are almost at the transition altitude, but We don't have to change the 2992 today, and we are on our way. Alright, soon we are beginning our descent. We go all the way down to 3000 feet. But here are our waypoints for our arrival. A couple of altitude restrictions on the way, but once I reach Eagle, then I'm going to initiate descent and guide the plane down manually using V-speed to manipulate it at 10,000 feet, go down to 250 and fly all the way here, making a turn and lining up with the runway 08. And here we have our approach or arrival, and we have to be down at 3000 feet, and the localizer frequency 111.75 is already here in the radio page, or radio tuning page, nav1 and nav2. Later I'm going to switch it over here in the nav source to nav1, and then we can initiate the approach. Alright, we are coming up on our final turn. Hopefully the autopilot will make that turn without problems. So I'm going to stick with nav mode for now. And somewhere out there is an A319. Oh, there it goes. Looks like he's going to land before us. And meanwhile airspeed is dropping a little bit low, so going down all the way to 5000 feet. So we are below 10,000, landing lights are already on. In the pilot handbook, we have to check out what our landing speed and flap setting will be. SimBrief says that the approximate landing weight will be 20.5, and for that the speed is going to be, with flaps 45, speed is going to be 138 VREF. But for now we are maintaining 210. And check out the traffic. Oh yeah, there it goes, already lining up. And hopefully he will be landing way before us and already cleared the runway. Should be alright. And here for this turn I'm going to maintain 5,000 feet and later go down to 3,000 leisurely. Well, actually maybe before that I can switch it over to nav mode and land. So just as a reference, I'm going to put 138 here with the PFD. And decrease the sync rate a little bit. And later arm these guys. Thrust reversers will be deployed automatically. And I had a couple of issues with them. Normally when we land and thrust reversers are engaged, after that if I move my throttle on my stick, then they should retract automatically. But there have been an update for X-Plane 11 and this function does not work anymore, so we'll see how we will be retracting those reversers. And let's check out the flap extension speeds. Once we make that turn, I'm going to go down to 190 and then gradually slow down. Yeah, Phoenix downtown is in the background. And how is the A319 doing? Oh, not bad. Never been to the US, but I know this area. I've been driving with American Truck Simulator a lot. So here we go. Let's see how the autopilot does. It looks like we're going to make it without problems. Phoenix, maybe we are going to go and see Phoenix Suns game. Oh, well, actually, they're not doing too well right now in the NBA, and also not too bad. Not as the time with Sir Charles Barkley. And that was up. We should be at 3000. Here is everything set. Well, actually, I think I forgot this. According to the tutorial flight, I think we have to push here, and that's supposed to be the TARA mode. Not sure about that one, but we'll keep it like that. And now we are back on track and speeding up a little bit. And Phoenix downtown, there it is, and the airport. Our friend the A319 should have already landed. And go down to 190 slowly. So altitude, let's put 3000 here. And extend flaps. Adjust speed a little bit. And maybe let's try to switch over to nav 1. And course should be 78. Yep, that's locked in. But for now, switch it back to FMS. And slowly. Well, let's use minus 0.4. Here we have the indicator. Actually. Looks like 0.8, 0.7 will be alright. And we are maintaining 180 for now. And now I'm going to switch back to nav 1. Here we go. And glide slope indicator. Soon it will start moving down and it's going to arm the approach. So localizer 1, course 78, that's great. And add another degree of flaps. Everything looks ready for landing. Well, almost. And glide slope indicator is starting to move down. Slowly, maybe ease it in a little bit, intercept it from below. And get rid of the navigation page right there. I'm going to keep the PFD, and glide slope is alive. Gear down. And go flaps 40. Going to arm the spoilers and thrust reversers. And we have beautiful visibility. Now this area is not looking too great right now. It looked much better with the sunset approach I did with the MD-80, but nevertheless, it's a cool airport here in Phoenix. And we don't have a localizer indicator. Well, anyway, it's not too bad. So, flaps 45, gear is down. Everything is looking nice. So autopilot disconnect, and my aircraft. Great visibility. We have 2 white, 2 red. And looks like the 319 is already at his gate. So coming in nicely. Runway 08 and maintain speed. Whoa, why are we floating? Great landing. And reversers are automatically deployed and slowing down. That was kind of a long landing. We had a little bit of ground effect. And braking. And we are still in reverse mode, but we can exit here. And we can disengage them like that, and spoilers up. Also flaps up, but we are still in reverse mode. Maybe if I... Oops. Oh yeah. That seems to do the trick. And taxi lights. So let's look for a parking spot. Looks like everything is American Airlines here up ahead, so let's go. there somewhere. So welcome to Phoenix. It was a nice quick flight. Can already start the APU soon. Yeah, it was a little bit of long landing, but once I reduced thrust, the airplane nosed up a little bit. But anyway, great landing. I like this cockpit retexture. Looks much better than the original cockpit textures. Sometimes it can look a little bit washed out depending on the lighting. And APU, start. Door is already open. And I don't know if we would get a gate here with the CRJ, but it's going to look for one. APU gen off. Yeah, just switch it over already. So let's go somewhere up here. And looks like somebody's just walking around. Looks like a Minecraft something. And this guy does not give a crap that we are coming in. But anyway, like I said, not sure if we would have got a gate. And not bad, we could go a little bit further, but it's going to stay like this. And we can shut down the engines now. So, welcome to Phoenix. Thank you for joining me for this video and see you in the next one. In the meantime, take care and have a nice week.